the first time in winners bracket. Definitely impressed. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. Although this is, as we mentioned yesterday in other Falco matchups, it's pretty tough. Pretty tough for Falcon.
Yeah, and it definitely is the kind of thing that I would say sort of suits Elliott's playstyle. He has like pretty solid punish game. He's sort of careful and cautious, kind of like a mini PPMD. And I think that's going to work well against Polo style to some degree.
And you mentioned earlier, you asked him how he was feeling about the top 8, and he said he was a little scared, right?
Yeah, I think like if you are, he's still really young. I think that's one of like his strengths and maybe weaknesses is he doesn't have as much kind of experience, but he actually still has been playing for quite a while.
Yeah, he's got experience, but experience and top 8 experience are two different things.
Definitely.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, you could have all the work experience in the world, but then you get into a new role, and that's just going to be a world difference. And that's what top 8 is. Top 8 is nerve-wracking. And I'm not sure how many top 8s that Elliott has been in, but this is definitely going to be one of the few at this level on a stage like this. And it's going to be cool to see if, he can end up rising to the occasion.
Yeah, definitely. I think he has so much potential as a player. Like, a lot of people really kind of want to see him succeed. And it's exactly as you say. Like, right now, kind of fun fact, Elliott kind of has, I think, won our, like, weekly series, I believe, like 7 or 8 times in a row.
Oh, so really? Leading up to this?
Yeah, like, very, very comfortable at the local level, but it's exactly what you're saying, On the stage, the nerve starts to kick in.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a struggle, because if you're doing it at the local level, you start to feel like that's how you should be performing at all times, and it kind of shakes you up when you start playing a top 8 at this level, and if it's not working out, you might end up playing worse than what you're used to, just because you were expecting something different, and then you start getting in your own head and you start playing below your level. So it's a struggle to catch yourself doing that, and then to clean it up to make sure that you start performing at least at the level you're used to, right?
I think you have it exactly right. Like, even though it seems similar because you're playing someone you've played many times before, he's from your region, everything's a little bit different there. But I love that trait. That actually was really, really smart.
You know that it's a straight up classic to beat someone locally like 20 times in a row, and then you both show up like at an Evo or a Genesis and you run into each other in bracket, and then the other person wins that one time. Yeah. That's definitely happened so many times. It's happened to me a bunch of times too. I don't know if you remember Connor the Kid?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he destroyed me at Evo, man. I beat him at every local, then he destroyed me at Evo. It just be like that, man.
Yeah, it's tough. Big shout outs to Connor. If you ever want to watch like some of the craziest Sheik combos ever,
Connor's sick.
Oh, he's so good. But speaking of sick, Polo cleaning up that stock with a forward tilt to close it out. So far, pretty good. I like this counter pick from Elliott. Falcon does struggle a lot, both in the neutral and in the punish, whereas Falcon can kind of run circles on him with the lasers.
Good catch like that. Forward smash. Now, are you aware of the record between these two? Is Elliott usually winning?
I'm not sure. I know when they were at Champions of Vancouver, which was a thing in August. Beautiful DI mix up there to catch with the up air. But yeah, they have played at least at that tournament, and Polo won. Like, he came second, and Elliott, I believe, came like 4th or 5th.
Got it. Okay.
Either they played, or at the very least, Polo outplaced him. So, even though they may play at like locals and stuff, I think they're pretty evenly matched.
Right. It's not a one-sided local record, right? So it can actually go either way. What the hell happened?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty strange. But
yeah.
Elliott making the counter pick work. That kind of moment, especially you have so much competitive experience. When you get that kind of second game win, do the nerves start to settle?
Everything.
Or is it?
It's everything. It's like their set just started over. It definitely brings you back into the moment and stops you from freaking out about, am I underperforming? Am I doing well? I'm nervous about top 8. Once you get that one win, it's like you get the monkey off your back, and then you can start actually just playing some melee.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, and I hope that's what we see from Elliott now, man. Like,
I'm looking to see him start loosening up in these next few matches, like just start feeling himself a little more.
Yeah, he's got kind of like the eye of the tiger right now.
Yeah, that's really all you want, just to play your best, right? I think most melee players are happy knowing that they played their best. I think they're less concerned with losing or winning, more so did I play well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, it kind of reminds me of that. I was thinking about the pill tier list discussion that you did a while back.
Oh,
with
yeah, with Toph.
And there was that pill that was like, you always play your best, like physically you feel great.
That's a broken pill, man.
It is pretty strong. So
you have to grind though. It's the most honest pill. It just allows you to play at your peak level, which a lot of players appeal for. It's hard to do.
Yeah, and it's like oftentimes when people will say stuff like, my mentality just isn't on point, that's what they're talking about, is they feel like there's that gap between where they think they should be and where they are. And, oh my god, Falcon.
But as a wise Gatsu once said, if your C game isn't good enough, then you just got to keep working, right? Most people don't play at their A game a lot of the time, and when you're losing to people, basically you just have to get so good that your B and your C game are just good enough to beat a lot of other people.
Yeah, I think Armada made a career off of that. Like,
oh yeah, no, his C game was good enough to beat most people's A games. That's why Armada was who he was. It's not like he stayed undefeated against everybody below the top 6 for that many years because he was just always on his A game. That wasn't it at all. It's just his C game was good enough to beat these people even on their A game.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And right now, both of these guys have been playing pretty solid. You know, we're only about 20% difference between the two, and
close.
It's just a shame that these guys are kind of hurting each other regionally. Like, they're both from the same region. They don't want to be knocking each other out. The stakes are so high. We are in losers. It is top 8, but...
And this is like the most subtle Dreamland mod I've ever seen in my life. I like it. It's reserved. Usually, I don't know if you've seen the Norwalk Dreamland mod, but it's disgusting. It's gross. There's like cotton candy everywhere. It's all colorful. It looks like a goddamn rave. This just looks like a nice fall background. It's nice.
I think one of the things, I'm pretty sure this is Vancity Primal who did it. He's done so many of the mods. Like, if it's not, I'd be very, very surprised. And you're so right that like so many mods are kind of tasteless.
Gross, man.
Like if you look at Mewtwo Kick Stream, man, I'm not trying to call out someone specifically, but like it's like, bro, just
I know the whole stage is made out of Legos or something, and then it's disgusting.
Like, Melee looks nice on its own, right? Like, you don't need to be adding like
I like this mod. All right, Elliot taking that game, and that's huge because that was Polo's counter pick. So I think Polo relying on the space in order to get some kind of advantage there and get through the lasers and beat out what Falco does best. But Elliot taking that game is going to prove very difficult on Polo now to finish off the set.
Yeah, actually a little surprised to see Fountain. This is so classically, almost a cliche.
Interesting. Polo picked this.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It seems like it.
That I don't know how I feel about that. I think Fountain of Dreams has gotten a reputation for being a bad Falcon stage, and sometimes without merit, because what hurts Falcon on this stage is that Falcon has a hard time moving horizontally because of the platforms and the way that they move, and sometimes they're positioned low, right? But against some characters, Falcon doesn't need to approach horizontally. So then it's totally fine. Like, I'd say against Samus, this stage is actually fine for Falcon because Falcon has a good time approaching from the top. Now, if I'm thinking through it logically, one of Falco's strengths in the matchup is to control the horizontal space, and that's what Falcon struggles on in any stage. So if that's a place that you're going to struggle in anyway, then I guess FOD's not terrible because you're approaching from the top most of the time in any stage, and at least here you're closing the distance, right? So I guess I'm open to it is what I'm saying. I'm like rethinking what the logic might be, and it's okay. I'm not sure if it's great, but it's okay.
I think another possibility too that I'm curious about is sometimes, like, if there is a stage that people sort of tend to dislike, this is one of them, like Ginger kind of often complains about how much he dislikes Fountain of Dreams. Might not be so comfortable. Maybe Polo goes, I've heard Elliot complain about this stage. He just doesn't like it that much. I'm going to Fountain. And
do you know if he has, or
I don't actually know. No, but I'm saying it is very possible.
Oh yeah. And it's working out. It's working out.
Yeah, I feel like I said these two early on were very evenly matched, but we are really seeing just how true that is. This set has been very, very back and forth. Even now, down to stock, he can easily get an opening and kind of make it even once again.
Oh, that's it. And what a counter pick. You know what I mean? Going Dreamland, losing there, understanding that, perhaps the space was not to his benefit. And he ends up taking it to a smaller stage where, sometimes the platforms could force Falco to be in a weird spot where Falcon can approach from the top. And yeah, it worked out for him. Pretty dominantly, too. I think that was a 2-stock.
No, yeah, I completely agree. It really did look like Polo kind of regained control. And now, you mentioned him liking the space. Well, he's been on FD. He's been on Dreamland. He doesn't have that many options in terms of space. So I guess Pokemon actually is one of the few that remain. So it's still going to work out for him okay.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a solid stage for Elliot. Getting the counter pick advantage here.
Like the up air so far, good extension of the back air and keeping him in the corner. So much of this matchup, definitely as a Falco player, is about just kind of getting Falcon and shield and in these kind of like tech chase situations, because his role sucks, his out of shield game in general kind of sucks, and if you can just keep that pressure on constantly, like the flaws he has as a character really start to show. Ooh, and gets the kill from that.
Takes the first stock. Let's see if he can get any extra credit.
Did open up. And you can kind of see what I mean. Like right now, he's just keeping him grounded. Like you said before, with the kind of fountain benefits of like this stage, he's really able to sort of put on that pressure on that kind of horizontal axis.
Yes.
And, extra credit is exactly what Elliot got. Already going to take another stock potentially.
Yeah. And because of the layout of the stage, Polo doesn't have the freedom to approach from a different angle. You know what I mean? It's like you have to challenge Falco horizontally, and unfortunately on this stage, that's where Falco shines. So, that was not a pun. I was
going to say, was that
no,
I
just realized I said it and I was mad at myself.
Exactly.
I don't do that Tafo shit. No, that was not a pun. I use that word the way it's meant to be used, I swear.
I don't do that Tafo shit. Quite the line, but with all that out of the way, we got Elliot, man, like he has such a strong and dominant lead, and despite that fear, despite that anxiety, he's starting to feel comfortable, but this is the side of the matchup that can actually be a bit tricky, and I think it's why, even though people talk about this matchup sucking for Falcon, like Falcons don't complain about it as much because you can just kill Falco in an instant.
Super quickly, yeah. Okay, gonna have to do a lot of work here for Polo.
I think one of the big things like we got to think about right now is that both of these guys, they feel like their region's reputation is on their back, and this is losers. This is game 5. Like whoever kind of takes this, like they want to be the person that kind of they're visualizing themselves winning. They want to be the one who takes home the trophy, who kind of goes like, yo, BC is sick, and that's got to be stressful.
Yeah, and Polo taking a lot of damage already. It's going to take a lot.
Yeah.
All right, Elliot poised to take this.
Love the shine stall. Closes it out with the back air. Good stuff to Elliot. Doesn't let the nerves get to him.
Yeah. I mean, that's what runs are made of. You start them off nervous. You're a little concerned about how you're going to perform. And then once you do get that win, everything starts to look a little more clear. And the path seems more evident. You know what I mean? So, like, this might be the moment where Elliot's like, okay, I could actually do this. Like, this top 8 stuff isn't that big of a deal. I'm in it. I'm already winning. So maybe I can take it further,
No, I totally agree. I think so much of it is like, it sounds so cheesy, but like actually believing yourself. And like Vish and I were talking about this, that like sometimes, all you need is that big win against a top player, but also sometimes it's like, let's say, for example, Polo beats, I don't know, Moki, and then Elliot beats Polo. He can kind of think, well, if Polo can beat Moki, maybe I can beat Moki because I beat Polo. Like, I don't want to go too far with the like Armada number or whatever they call it, but like, it doesn't matter.
The Armada number. We were actually at the bar yesterday all talking about our Armada numbers.
Oh,
it was really funny. And then when some people were tied, we'd talk about how many different people you have from that degree, right? If viewers don't know, the Armada number is basically